Good morning everyone. My topic is interpolating spatial distribution using Kriging combined with environmental condition. And my name is LUO Ming from the Chinese University of Hong Kong. And as you know, spatial interpolation method aims to estimate the variables at the unobserved locations in geographic space based on the value at the observed locations. And there are two kinds of methods of the spatial interpolation. The first one is based on the spatial autocorrelation. For example, we sampled from 5 locations A, B, C, D, E. Then we need to predict the value at the location P. This method includes such as ordinary Kriging and inverse distance weighting. And another method is based on the environmental condition. Another way, in this method, we actually use the different variables to predict our target variables. For example, we first build a model based on the relation between the variable P, which need to be predicted, and the environmental variables, which is ABC as may see from this figure. And such method, the typical of method based on the environmental condition is the regression method. Actually, but here's the questions: how can we to combine both of them to improve our accuracy? And actually, some methods such as ordinary co-Kriging and regression co-Kriging try to combine both of them, but this method exists some shortcomings, such as they cannot handle the nonlinear relationship. So, how could we combine both of them, especially for the nonlinear relationship, is the main objectives of this research. And our objectives is to combine spatial autocorrelation and the environmental condition. While we also need to handle the nonlinear relationship between the target variables and the environmental variables. And as a result, we should also improve the predicting accuracy and the mapping result. And our method, the framework of our method is for every unobserved location, for example P, the value at the observed location is estimated by a weighted linear combination of neighborhood observations such as A, B, C, D, E. And the weight consists of 2 parts, one related to spatial autocorrelation and another related to environmental condition. And based on these 2 parts, we combine them together by introducing a new coefficients. We call it adjustment coefficients. Actually, the adjustment coefficients is used to adjust the ratio between the spatial autocorrelation and the environmental condition, which ranges from 0 to 1. Actually, when k equals to 0, then the weight only related to the spatial autocorrelation, and this proposed method is same as the conventional methods such as Kriging and inverse distance weighting. And on the other hand, when k equals to 1, these methods become same as the regression method because the weights only related to the environmental factors. And as I mentioned before, there are 3 parameters in this method, which is the spatial autocorrelation and the environmental condition and adjustment coefficients. And for these 3 methods, we use ordinary Kriging method to solve the spatial autocorrelation, and using a fuzzy similarity model, which is a nonlinear model, to represent the environmental condition. between the unobserved location and the observed locations. And then we use a scheme which is the condition of minimize the sample learning mean squared error to solve the optimal or best adjustment coefficients. And to assessment this method, we performed a study in our study area, which is located in the northeast China, and we take 54 samples in this area to predict the spatial distribution of soil organic matters. And the environmental variables we used in this research included elevation and topographic awareness index, because these two factors is most important topographic factors which impact the spatial distribution of soil organic matter. And actually, we firstly calculate the best value of the adjustment coefficients, and then this map shows the results. And we can see from this map, when we using elevation as the environmental variables, the K value is higher than using TWI, topographic awareness index. And as I mentioned before, when the higher is the K value, the stronger is the environment condition. So this result shows higher K values indicate the higher correlation coefficient. In another way, we can say that this K value can automatically adjust the ratio of spatial alteration and environmental conditions. And this map shows the result. In the in the two pictures of the left side is the traditional method. The first one is the inverse distance weighting prediction, and the figure B is the ordinary correlation prediction. And the middle two pictures is the ordinary co-gradient method result using different environmental variables such as elevation and TWI. And on the right side, these two pictures is the proposed method generated prediction results. As we can see from this picture, the four mappers on the right side is more detailed than the left side, because they using secondary variables, elevation and TWI. But compared the OCK and the proposed method, we can also say that the proposed method result more detailed than the OCK prediction, because this method considered the more detailed, can use more detailed secondary variables such as more detailed environmental data such as elevation, DM, and TWI. And here's the actual result. The result shows the same results of the last slide. And the mean absolute error and the room mean squared error of the proposed method is much lower than the traditional method. So we can say that our method improves the accuracy, apparently. And we also studied the sensitivity of the K value, and we can say that when K equals to 1, only spatial articulation is considered, and when K equals to 0, when K equals to 0, only spatial articulation is considered, and when K equals to 1, only environmental condition is considered. So, but the best value of the MAE, mean absolute error, and root mean squared error is the K between the 0 to 1. So we can see you can see combine the spatial alteration and the environmental condition can actually improve our accuracy of the predicting. And here's the conclusion. And we can, as we discussed, the proposed method can integrate both spatial alteration and the environmental condition. And this method can automatically adjust the value of the ratio of spatial alteration and the environmental condition by introducing adjustment coefficients k. And the result also shows our method can improve the accuracy of mapping result. So, as you know, this is my presentation, and thank you very much. Is there any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Luo. Is there any questions in this topic? Yeah, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. My name is Sanya from Thailand, and I found that your presentation is very understandable and very good. But I still have a question that I wonder, like when we're talking about interpolation using, for example, clicking and the IDW, right? We always go for the data like continuous data, not discrete data. Right? So in this case, I'm not quite sure about the soil organic matter, right?
So you get it matter.
Yeah. You interpolate the organic matter in the soil.
Yes.
So in this case, I'm not quite sure because if you check the soil theory, within the same soil theory, right?
Yes.
The organic matter might be continuous. I mean, for my knowledge, for what I believe, right?
Exactly.
But if you across the soil theory, I'm not quite sure that you have the break or not, or the data still are continuous. That's my question.
Sorry, I don't understand.
I mean, within the same soil theory, right? The organic matter, right? The organic content can be continuous, but within the different, I mean, you across, you go to the different soil theory. In that case, can you interpolate them all? I mean, you take all organic matter in different soil theory to interpolate. I'm not quite sure that you're going to have a break or the boundary between soil theory or not.
Actually, when we use the different, first of all, I need to explain why we need these two environmental data or secondary data, and because in this area is quite small. The area is about 64 kilometers, and the other factors such as climate or material or mother material is quite similar in one small area. So we use only the topographical area, and am I right? I don't know quite sure what about your question. Sorry.
With interpolation like this, right? You have many kind of interpolation, but interpolation like a clicking and IDW, right?
Yes.
We normally use for the continuous data. You understand continuous data, right?
Yes.
But in this case, I wonder that according to soil theory, the data of organic matter still be continuous or not?
Yes, the data we used is also continuous.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Any other questions or comments? Actually, I have one question. In this method, you can combine one additional data. You mean that you said the environmental data set?
Yes.
Yeah. Can we combine maybe 2 or 3 environmental data set in this model?
Yes, another paper we try to figure out these questions because in in this model, the lambda is the spatial alteration and the S is the environmental condition. The environmental condition is calculated from this model, and this model can process different maybe many variables at the same times, because we can also combine different variables because by combine S1, S2, S3, combine them together. So and we try to make this in the another paper. Maybe we will publish them later.
So we are looking forward.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So if there's no any further question, we would like to move to the next speaker.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
And the next speaker is